is up, guys? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the spin-off Sunday with the Why We Disney podcast. This is going to be another incredible episode. Last week we talked about WandaVision and all of that fun, but this week we have something brand new that we are going to talk about. So enough of me rambling. Let's just go ahead and jump into this episode for today.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the most magical podcast on the internet. I am your co-host, Kara. I also have my amazing co-host, Kaycee.
Hey guys.
Our editor, Sydney.
Hey guys.
And a very special guest, my best friend, the one, the only Brandon Fuller.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thanks for having me today.
Brandon, obviously, I'm very happy to have you. The whole team is happy to have you on today's podcast. And maybe some people who haven't heard the podcast before maybe don't know who you are. So do you want to explain that?
Oh, yeah, sure. So hello, everyone. My name is Brandon. I am a Marvel nerd. I am obsessed with the MCU, the comics, literally anything Marvel. Put that with a little bit of Disney and then boom, there you have it. I am also a longtime Starbucks barista and got that Why We Disney podcast drink out there. Go try it. And I am here today to talk about, some fabulous Marvel things.
I love that you talked about all of that. I was really going to say how we were best friends for 10 years, but
That too. Kara and I are best friends. We've been best friends for 10 years. We get the pleasure of living, working, and, dreaming big together. So there's that too. And I'm so excited.
Okay.
Well, we mentioned one thing about being Kara's best friend, not one thing.
No, didn't mention one thing, but it's okay. Okay,
so the listeners follow Kara around. I'm sure they already know that you're her best friend because we're all over her Instagram page now. But you can go ahead and plug your own Instagram on here if you would like.
Oh, sure. My Instagram is Brandon D Fuller 4. Brandon D Fuller 4. There's a lot of Brandon Fuller actors out there, so I had to put in the D to make me stand out. So Brandon D Fuller 4.
We are off to a special episode. So what we are going to do, guys, is kind of talk about our first impressions of the new Disney Plus series, the Marvel series, because it's the year of Marvel, as Sydney likes to say, of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And so, Brandon, we thought that you would be perfect on here as the Marvel enthusiast as you are to kind of talk about what it is, where it comes from, all that background. So go on ahead.
Sure. So the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is in a world post-blip. For all of us who know what the blip is that time when half the universe went away and then came back in the 2019 Avengers Endgame. And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier follow Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes and try to navigate the world with adjusting to the sudden reappearance of the blip. Both Sam and Bucky were among those who blipped away and then came back 5 years later and, is suddenly without one of their closest friends, Captain America, right? So we have the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It is following a more traditional action-packed storyline that's much different from the start of WandaVision that, some of us just wrapped up on. But this follows a 6-episode series that will tackle Captain America's legacy and what it means to be a hero in the world and the country that we live in today.
Thank you, Brandon, for that quick synopsis of what the Falcon and Winter Soldier is all about. I can't believe it's only 6 episodes. That makes me really sad.
Absolutely.
I know the episodes are going to be longer, more towards an hour, but still it's only 6 hours of Marvel. Anyway, I'm going to start us off with some questions. I want everyone to answer them, and we're just going to kind of try to rapid fire. I know we have a lot of opinions, though. The first question is, was the premiere episode what you expected it to be? And I'll have Kara go ahead and start that.
Why me? You all know I got opinions. in the scheme of it being an action rather than, a TV sitcom, yeah, it was what I expected Marvel to be. But I think, Sydney, you've said this before in our conversations, it was slow to me. It was hard to get into it right off the bat. I was like, okay, Marvel's here. Yeah, fight, cool. But like, I was waiting for something else. So that's it for me. What about Kaycee?
So I agree. I feel like off the jump, like it was like, wow, this is a Marvel. This is really Marvel. So I honestly, to answer the question, was it what I expected? I'll tell you what I did expect is to at least have Bucky and Sam in a scene together. Mm-hmm. That's what I expected, and that was not a thing. But I totally get like telling the backstories of the two sides. So I'm excited to move forward. I liked the first episode. Sure, it was what I expected. What about you, Brandon? I'm so ready to hear you.
Yeah, so I personally really did like the first episode. The first episode goes to show what Marvel can do. Marvel is setting us up for basically a 6-hour-long movie, and they're just breaking it up into different segments. But they're also showing us the world that we kind of don't see behind the scenes of how a real life superhero lives when Hydra isn't here or Thanos isn't here, right? How do they live their life? It goes to show just in, the loan scene, spoiler, sorry, in the loan scene of the first episode of, Sam and his sister trying to get a loan. Oh, Sam, a Falcon. Oh, hey, how do you make money? Does Tony Stark give you anything? And they're like, no, it doesn't work like that. It works from like the goodness of your heart, right? So it's huge on character development. And as, an actor and a theater nerd and, someone who loves diving in deeper than, surface level, I loved it. The two storylines go to show, what Marvel has the potential of doing. And just even the trailers with seeing some of the mystery characters come through and just the characters that were introduced in the first episode, I know this series is going to go so far deeper into the Captain America universe that we know. And I'm so excited. So excited.
Yeah. I think you said it perfectly, Brandon, that they are setting us up for like a 6-hour-long movie, because I genuinely felt like I was watching the first 20 to 30 minutes of a Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. And then we had that surprise ending. And I was just like, wait, go on to the next scene. I want to see more.
Absolutely.
Overall, it was what I expected as far as the action and what Marvel basically puts out there. It still gave me plenty of emotion. I only found some of the scenes a bit slow, and I get that they're trying to develop these characters and saying like, this is what they're struggling with post-blip, post-Captain America, going away. And so I totally know that it's necessary. I would say some of the direction as well was surprising to me. Like, this is a spoiler, but in one of Bucky's therapy scenes, when it was just a tight shot of like half their face, I don't know if something was weird with my TV or if everyone saw that, but it was like annoying to me. I was like, I want to see his full face. I want to see his responses. And I felt a little gypped in that scene. It was a weird angle for me, but maybe I'm missing something. But anyway, moving on, I would like to know, who do each of you like more? Winter Soldier or the Falcon? Who wants to go first?
I'll go. Okay. Unpopular opinion, none of them. And I'm only saying that because there are other characters that were in the trailer and that were in the first episode that I'm more excited for. I'm always a fan of the sidekick. That's why I was a fan of Falcon in Civil War when Falcon first got introduced. So now seeing Lieutenant Joaquin Torres come in, knowing the comics and knowing what Lieutenant Torres does later on in the comics has a big potential for this series itself. So I'm always a fan of the underdog. I'm always a fan of the sidekick. Forever, a LeFou, not Gaston sort of character type here. So like I'm going for the sidekicks of the film and of the film. See, we're talking about like it's a movie of the series. Kara?
How am I supposed to answer this now? So if we're choosing between Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't know if there's a C option. Brandon made a C option, but between A and B, I would have to choose Falcon, just because I can't relate to any of them. I'm not a superhero, but like I feel like I can relate to Falcon more, maybe because he feels more human-esque, like especially in that, like Brandon was talking about the loan scene, like we actually see him outside of the Avengers and outside of like that specific job that he has making no money. So it was just interesting. He's my favorite. Kaycee?
I can't choose a favorite, y'all. Like, I'm sorry. I saw the question on the script and I was like, I hate it for y'all. I can't choose a favorite. Honestly, I love them both. And I think that not that either one of them were both in any way like shorted in the movies, but they kind of were. Like, they were great characters and they didn't get like that full, like Captain America or Tony Stark, like they didn't get that whole thing. And so I appreciate both of them. I like the tight shots in Bucky's therapy session, Sydney. I think it's really cool. I think it adds like that dramatic sense to it. And I've like had some time in therapy. So like it's funny. It's just funny to me. I get that, but I can't choose and I won't choose. So there you go.
Well, no, I don't want to choose either. And yeah, I regret asking this question.
Right.
I like them both for obviously different reasons. Bucky, I loved him in the original Captain America, like when he was best friends with Steve growing up. And then, of course, his whole character got brainwashed by Hydra. So that adds an element to it. And now I can respect what he's doing now in his therapy, trying to make amends. I understand how hard that can be. So my heart is being pulled in his direction for that. But I do also love Sam. Sometimes he can be a little bit like self-righteous. I don't know. That's the right word. That might be too strong. But like, I know he has a strong like moral compass because he followed Captain America. So I appreciate that as well. But I guess after that episode, the needle tips towards Winter Soldier.
Sure.
And I said what I said. Moving on. My last question for you guys. What do you think will happen in the series plot-wise? If you could make any wild prediction.
Okay, Brandon made a facial expression first, so he has to go first.
Well, knowing what comes, in the comics, I'm very hopeful. And even with WandaVision, the Marvel Studios did a very good job on staying true to kind of their origin story. So with what we have presented to us in the first episode, I am very hopeful that John Walker leaves. John Walker is the random guy that came on screen at the very end of the first episode. Bye, John Walker. Get out of here. I don't want you here. Get rid of him. Sam become Captain America like he's supposed to and who he is meant to be, because Steve Rogers gave you the shield for a reason. For a reason. Okay, everyone say it with me. For a reason.
No, I get it.
So Sam, Captain America, then got Lieutenant Torres. Lieutenant Torres, come on and take on the Falcon mantle like you're supposed to, based off of the comics. So again, I'm very hopeful for them to continue on with the comics. As for Bucky, I don't know. I want them to be buddies and I want them to honor, Steve Rogers' legacy for what he has done. Bucky's also going through some stuff. So like we get to see his journey as well with the mending of his past relationships and the damage he has done in his life, as we, already see in the first episode. So I'm hopeful that, he's able to get back on his own mental health and beat up some bad guys like those face mask people, flags, something they're called, or something like that.
I have a question. The guy at the end who they announced as like the new Captain America, what did you say his name was?
John Walker.
Who the F is John Walker?
I was
So-
gonna say,
Where is he? Well, who are
what the
you?
heck is that?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how the MCU is going to interpret him, but in the original Captain America comic books, the DoD, the Department of Defense, originally took Captain America away, saying, "Hey, you're doing too much, and you're with the army, so we're taking away your title, and you have to be a civilian." Right? That was all before Avengers, but we're taking away your title of Captain America, and we're going to give it to someone else. Introduce John Walker. Again, different time in the comics, but they introduced John Walker as the replacement for Captain America when they, took away his title originally. Now, in MCU world, we need a new Captain America in the world. We're calling for a new Captain America. Sam's not going to do it, so they brought this character, John Walker, in. Not sure how long he'll live in the MCU, but that was who we believe that to be.
Follow-up question.
Okay.
Why, and I haven't read any of the comics, I don't read, so why does there have to be another Captain America? Like, my thought process is like Iron Man gave Spider-Man the glasses, right? Like, why can't you just be the next icon? So why can't we be Avengers 2.0 and have these people? Like, not that I don't love, I love the original Avengers, but like, obviously if there's going to be different phases, if there's going to be this different group, you see what I'm saying?
But I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing that's so incredible, is because we're seeing what the symbol of this shield means to people. And now, yeah, we're in a fictional, imaginary circumstances here, living in a movie right now. But like, that's what the symbol means. It's to Sam. He has to process what the symbol means, and having that shield in his hands. It's a very different symbol. And with what people have gone on record to say from the studio is they're trying to introduce the storyline of the MCU into the world that we live in today, with racial inequality and things of that nature. So there was an article and a post that was made by one of the producers that talk about what is the burden that a Black man carries this shield. What can the public see from this human carrying this shield? Is it the same? And that's what I think Sam goes back and forth between, so we can see the growth of what we all in the United States and in the world need to see at this time, in the world of the MCU, but also in the world that we live in the human world today.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I see from it. And that's why I think that's so important, of why he gave it to the Smithsonian. Give it away, so then we can see his, again, character-driven motives of him saying, yes, Cap gave it to me for a reason. I can hold the shield. And that's why, I'm hopeful that they follow that same storyline. Although it's different in the comics, but, Marvel always doing great and attaching it to today's timeline.
Right. Wow.
That was perfectly said, Brandon. Thank you for answering these questions. And I have some more questions that I'm going to ask you off air when we're done.
Of course.
But does anyone want to answer what they think the series has in store for us?
Brandon answered the question too well, so
Right.
I don't know if there's anything more to say.
You made me go first.
Yeah, I know.
What's one thing that you're excited to see from the storyline?
Me?
Anyone? I'm changing the question up on
Kara, go
now.
first. Kara.
Fighting scenes. I just missed that right at the beginning of WandaVision. I was so distraught when it was.
I remember at the beginning of WandaVision, Kara and I's mouth was, I would just slowly pan towards each other, and we're like, "Ooh, WTH, like what was that? But I know Kara is definitely interested in more of those fighting scenes.
Yeah.
So like the whole plot thing, like yeah, sure. I'm just excited to see fights again.
Yeah, I'm excited to see their personalities kind of in the fighting at like scene or whatever. I'm excited to see their personalities like clash. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good series. And they, like you guys have said, like Brandon, you said it, I think Sydney, you said it too, but like they're teeing us up for something like really big. So yeah, I'm excited to move forward. I feel like I should have more of an opinion, but honestly, I just can't wait to see what they're about to open it up to. Hopefully in the next, like, what do you think the next like episode or maybe the next episode, like the story will really start blooming? Or do you guys think it's gonna be later, like after the series?
It's only 6 episodes. And from what they've shown in the trailer, there's so much that they got to get done in, the 5 left. So I think that also goes to show what I'm excited for. And I'm excited for, you can't have anything Captain America related without Peggy Carter or, Welcome to 2021. Agent 13, which is Sharon Carter, which is Peggy's, niece. And she was in the trailers, and I'm so excited for her to come in. I love that actress for who she is. She's in a couple of other of my programs that I watch. So getting to see her in the MCU thrive as Agent 13 goes to show just how much love she has for Captain America, for his legacy, and for, her country. So I'm excited to see her growth and see what she's going to bring to the table.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm so excited for her character to be introduced. And I really hope that they pick up like next episode, just go straight into it, develop the plot more. I'm excited for the Bucky and Sam banter, the famous banter, because they are hilarious together. And then, like I said earlier, I just really want to see Bucky get the redemption and, like the peace that he's searching for, because I know he's struggling. And one of my favorite scenes was his date scene when she was like with that girl and she's like, so how old are you? And he's like 104. And she like laughed like it was a joke.
But one thing, just to speak on that date scene really quick, one thing to say is we know that character's not important. We can forget about her essentially because she's unnamed in the credits. She's nowhere, in the future of Winter Soldier, at least we can hope and think about. So it's not like we have to home back on, such a small moment. The biggest thing of that specific endeavor was to highlight the old man and the burden of the killing of his son.
Yeah.
Oh, can I say something? I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
I just thought of this and was like, I wonder what they think. So, okay, you know how at the end of Endgame, when so Captain America had to go back in time and put all of the stones back where they belonged. Is that what he was doing, right? Isn't that what he was doing? Okay.
The timeline, yeah.
Listen, Brandon, I saw it. Okay. But like when he came back, like, yes, he was ancient, but I thought in the very first episode, I would see him like as an old man. Or is he dead? Or like, do we know like,
He's not dead, but from following Chris Evans' Twitter, we know he's not picking up the shield again to make a reappearance. There's always rumors that goes, yeah, that was a joke. That was just kind of to wrap up, phase 4 of Avengers, not the MCU specifically, but I don't think we'll see him. I think he's going to live his life out now. With what it is, I don't think we'll see Chris Evans or even the old man. I think we'll see the legacy of Captain America grow just from Sam and Bucky.
From fresh,
possibly,
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if like eventually there was going to be like something with Sam or even Bucky that was like, I'm going to have lunch like with a friend, and they sit down with Steve. So I didn't know, but what do you guys think? Y'all don't think we'll see him? I mean, I don't know.
I'm so confused. There's way too much going on. I can't.
Oh.
I can't even like. I mean, no, I'm not confused, but it's like it's so much to think about.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, Casey. It's like, why can't they still be friends with him, even though he's an old man now? But it's like, he's not the same person that they once knew, because he lived out this whole other life where he didn't have the responsibility that he did. He didn't have the self-sacrifice for his country, for the world. So he was happy and content. And I think he just showed up to pass the torch and go on to live the rest of his life with Peggy, if she was still alive too. And so I get that struggle of like wanting them to like still be friends with this old man, but it's not the same. They're missing their partner in crime. Like, they're literally their hero. So
yeah.
I think it's definitely going to see it, because we have Sharon Carter come back in. It's interesting to see what she'll say, if anything, about Steve Rogers, because she's the niece of Peggy, and if they did live out their life together, who knows what, Agent 13 Sharon Carter would have to say about, the legacy of Captain America. She has a personal connection to it. So it's interesting. The snap in Captain America going back to put the stones back in their original timelines is always something that confuses everyone. I mean, all of us were confused with WandaVision. Is Vision alive? Where's the Mind Stone sort of situation thing too? It will be interesting. You that's such a good, let us think about a little bit, and we're like, let's think.
The timeline is always something to think about. I've spent hours and hours like trying to understand it, reading up on it, and it basically, the whole point is like the timeline is not linear. So just because Captain America went back and like put the stones back and relived his life a different way, it doesn't change anything in the present. So like Sharon still wouldn't have grown up being like, oh, that's Uncle Steve. Like, that just didn't happen for her, because it's a different timeline. And so like, that's something that's important to realize about the Marvel universe. It's not like Back to the Future with whatever you do, it's going to change the future based on what you do in the past. It's the whole point is that's how they were able to put all the stones back and everything be the same in the future. It's very confusing, and we'll have to talk about it more, but I've spent a lot of time trying to understand it.
There's no words. As you guys can tell, this was a first impressions episode, literally just about episode 1. And as we all are saying, there's just so much to the episode, so much we are looking forward to. And we are definitely I'm just going to speak it into existence now, going to have a recap episode of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So thank you guys so much for joining us for another Why We Disney spin-off episode. Thank you, Sydney, our editor, for joining us. Thank you, Brandon, our special guest, for joining us. Stay tuned for more future episodes. And I just want to throw it out there. I know we say subscribe all the time, follow us on Instagram. Okay, but here's what you guys really need to do. Did you know we have a new newsletter? Brandon, did you know? Are you subscribed?
I did, and I am.
Yo, okay. Anyway, go check the link in our bio on our Instagram. We have a new monthly newsletter coming out, so you guys won't miss any future episodes, our special spin-offs that are only on our YouTube content. You're going to get all the news, and we are so excited for you. But until next time, we will see you real soon, and have an amazing day.
Bye.
Bye.